Hidden deep within the scorching red desert of Western Australia lies a town that the government has tried to forget. A town so toxic, so dangerous, that its very name has been removed from road signs, maps, and even postal records. A town where the wind carries death, and the soil itself holds the memories of thousands of slow, silent tragedies. This place is called Wittenoom, though you won't find that name on any modern guidebook. Once a thriving community, Wittenoom is now a graveyard without tombstones, haunted not by ghosts, but by dust. And not just any dust, but a blue dust that kills slowly, invisibly, and without mercy. In the 1940s, Wittenoom was born out of the Australian blue asbestos mining boom. The blue fibers, known scientifically as crocodylite, were a miracle of industry, strong, heat-resistant, flexible, and incredibly useful for construction, insulation, and war equipment. The need for asbestos surged globally, and Wittenoom became a beacon of opportunity. Hundreds of workers flocked to this isolated corner of the outback, bringing with them their wives, their children, their dreams. Schools were built. Stores opened. Streets were named. Life bloomed in the middle of nowhere. But beneath this image of prosperity was a silent killer, creeping through every crevice of the town. It settled on dinner plates, clung to laundry hung outside, coated toys in schoolyards. People breathed it in every day, completely unaware they were inhaling death. The government, the mining companies, and the medical experts knew. As early as the 1940s, scientific reports had already begun to warn of the dangers of asbestos inhalation. But profits were high, and the town was growing. Instead of protecting the people, those in power chose silence. Workers were given no protective gear. Children played on tailings piles, huge mountains of crushed asbestos rock dumped behind homes. Blue dust blew through open windows and onto the skin of sleeping infants. And no one said a word. For decades, Wittenoom thrived on borrowed time. Behind the cheerful smiles in family photos was a ticking clock. The diseases caused by blue asbestos don't appear immediately. They hide inside the body for 10, 20, even 40 years before emerging as mesothelioma, a vicious, incurable cancer that suffocates its victims slowly. One by one, former residents began to die. Miners first. Then housewives. Then children. Entire families were wiped out. And as the death toll rose, Wittenoom's secret became impossible to contain. By the late 1960s, the mine was shut down. But the town didn't disappear, not yet. Some people stayed, clinging to their homes and refusing to believe that the very air around them was deadly. Others had nowhere else to go. The government responded by cutting off services. No more funding. No more infrastructure. Eventually, even Wittenoom's postcode was revoked, as if the town itself had become a national embarrassment. It became a no man's land, a place too dangerous to live, too toxic to clean, and too painful to talk about. And yet, even after all this, a handful of residents remained. Well into the 2000s, people still lived in Wittenoom, alone among ruins, surrounded by death. Some refused to believe the science. Others believed the risk had passed. But it hadn't. Every breeze, every gust of wind stirred up fine particles of crocodylite, invisible but deadly. These weren't just ghosts of the past, they were active threats. In 2022, the last residents were forcibly evicted. The power was shut off. The roads leading in were closed. And Wittenoom, finally, was abandoned. But not forgotten. Urban explorers, thrill seekers, and documentarians still visit Wittenoom, despite the danger. They sneak past barricades, trespassing into a place the government has marked forever contaminated. They film decaying houses, rusted swing sets, peeling paint on abandoned schools. Inside some homes, furniture still sits undisturbed. Children's toys gather dust on cracked floors. Books are open on nightstands, left exactly where they were placed decades ago. But the air is not safe. Warning signs scream from every fence: danger, asbestos contamination, do not enter. And yet, people still do. Some wear masks. Others don't. Some leave with just photos. Others leave with something much worse. A death sentence they won't even feel for years to come. The Australian government has said Wittenoom will never be cleaned. The land is too poisoned, the cost too high. It is a scar left to fade under the desert sun. But the truth is, Wittenoom will never fade. Over 2,000 deaths have already been linked to asbestos exposure from the town, and the number continues to rise. The fibers remain in the soil, in the walls, in the wind. The tragedy of Wittenoom isn't just that it was abandoned. It's that it was knowingly sacrificed. A community built on profit, erased by guilt. And still, it lingers. A phantom town breathing poison into the air, its buildings crumbling, but its warning echoing louder than ever. Wittenoom isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that stays with you. In your mind, in your lungs, in your nightmares. Because the scariest ghosts are the ones made by men, not spirits, but decisions. Not hauntings, but consequences. If this story chilled you, if you felt the weight of the wind that still blows through Wittenoom's broken streets, then help us tell more stories like this. Subscribe to Abandoned Earth. Give this video a like, leave a comment below, and share it with someone who thinks they've seen a real ghost town. Because Wittenoom may be gone from the map, but not from the earth. And certainly not from our memory.